force fields. Like, he is never caught off guard, man. And I've played enough times to know that myself.
Yeah.
Is just a very solid player. You know, I think he is, foreigner-wise, he is
probably the best.
Yeah, but not only that, but he's like the closest we get to like a top Korean player.
He's the closest we've had since maybe Stefano.
Yes, I would say so.
I would say so as well. Yeah, I think that Lilbow could upset at perhaps more than one opponent at BlizzCon. I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, that would be quite the treat.
Indeed.
What is his first opponent anyway? Is it confirmed?
Either Biol or Life.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think it's decided yet. But yeah, the game uneventful so far. Hydra poking with the link, just trying to see what he sees. He sees a sentry, and that tells him not to be alarmed about any, or to be less alarmed about anything like a Stargate or Dark Shrine or just very fast tech in general. Lilbow is just doing Lilbow things.
Indeed, and he does get the double gas at his natural, which means there's not going to be any early gateway push shenanigans. Hydra is going to scout that with the Overlord, which is going to, you know, give him more freedom to drone up.
Exactly, especially spotting all this gases. He's going to see all 4 of them now, so he knows whatever's coming is going to be a long ways off. And just so you guys get an idea of why this is economically in StarCraft 2, why scouting the gases means something. It's because at the highest level, you have to assume that your opponent, whatever they're doing, is going to be efficient. Right? If he's going to be taking these gases, it's not because he wants to be floating around a bunch of gas. It's because he has a plan for that gas. Otherwise, he would be mining more minerals and therefore making whatever unit composition he is going to make, you know, more mineral heavy, more efficient on that regard. More, if he wanted to go for a 7-gate, then he would need a lot of minerals and much less gas. So taking double gases, taking all 4 gases in itself is a great indicator that your opponent's most likely gonna play passive.
Yeah.
Lilbow going for a little bit of a poke here. Might lose a sentry if he's not careful. A few links by Hydra here, but
he is going up to 8 gateways. Is that accurate?
That is a lot of gateways.
Yeah. 8 gateways.
Yeah, and that is a lot of sentries. I mean, we see where the gas has been going. Lilbow is utilizing his resources effectively. It's just a matter of if Hydra can see this coming and maybe do something about it. He sees the stalkers warping in. He sees a lot of sentries. Can he identify that this is 8 gateways, though?
I don't know, man.
I mean, he sees the lack of a third, right? That's a big indicator in itself. Like, Lilbow seems to have no intention of slowing down the push here. And he's pushing very methodically. I mean, look at the pylons. It's one here, one there. Places where he can warp in without being disturbed. Places where he won't get his units picked up. And trying to secure this pylons as if they were some sort of land post that is going to allow him to move forward. And this is what we were talking about in the previous matchup, by the way, where we saw the third being taken down at the very top. They want to avoid the Protoss going through that choke, but Lilbow's going straight on the middle. He's got to be able to pick off this spine crawlers, maybe section off some more roaches. He's got to be careful with those sentries. Maybe hold control or control on them. Just stop micro. Just fucking stop them. Nope, gonna lose a lot of roaches there. Hydra has to be really careful, but is this enough for Lilbow?
Hydra, he did a very nice play there where he focused the sentry who had the most energy and he brought it down. So there was like 3 force fields worth
yeah.
in that sentry.
And roach speed is actually finishing. This is fantastic for Hydra. Some stalkers doing a little bit of economic damage, but actually getting rid of this army and Lilbow not having a third is just about all Hydra needs. He even has roach speed. So very comfortably holding this time around and making a lot of units. Why would they make a lot of units, you say? He just held. Well, now he can be counter-aggressive. With that many units, he can not only hold any extra aggression that Lilbow might be putting on, but also he can secure himself an economic lead by denying Lilbow's third, as he already has secured his own.
So what do you do as Lilbow now? You just keep pushing?
You have to. You're committed to this attack. Hydra's already going into Muta, potentially to try and apply some easier counter pressure with more mobile units later on, because he's comfortable here. He doesn't need more units. He's already got everything he needs. I wouldn't be surprised if Lilbow actually tapped out here. I don't think he has a lot of odds here.
There are so many Roaches, and Hydra is playing, getting Aspire behind us.
Yep.
GG.
So yeah, an 8-gate push is identified by Hydra. Really well done by Lilbow. I mean, it was very counterintuitive. Again, he took all 4 gases, and he put them all to use. He made a ton of sentries early on. It was an attack that's in itself very hard to read and to expect. So just very, very well done by Hydra. Nonetheless, it only looks bad for Lilbow because he lost, and that's the kind of strategy that he chose. Either he destroys his opponent or he gets rolled while doing it. So
are we switching servers every game or every?
Yeah, we're actually gonna
game.
switch to NA now. This was on Europe, so we're switching back to NA. For anyone wondering, so if you bet on Lilbow, now he's gonna play with delay. Good luck, man. If you bet on Hydra, you might be feeling a little bit better about your chances on NA. However, I think this is gonna be Lilbow's map, right?
This is Hydra's map.
Oh, and this is Hydra's map. This is Hydra's map and
So Lilbow
server.
picked Bridgehead.
Lilbow did pick
So
Bridgehead.
that's a Protoss map, I would say?
It's a Protoss map, I would say. Yeah.
I figured it would be a Zerg map.
No, again, it's really good for pushes from the high ground, which Lilbow kind of utilized. He had a little bit of army there poking at the third, trying to deny mining, but the frontal attack just didn't work as well as he was planning, I think. So, again, I'm really surprised and impressed that Hydra was actually able to identify what it was as well as he did and as early as he did.
Yeah. So that's pretty unfortunate for Lilbow because that was Lilbow's map on
And
Lilbow's server.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna have to play on Hydra's map and server, and this could potentially lead to a 2-0.
It could. It could.
Especially, I guess, for Protoss, since latency matters so much when throwing down those force fields,
Yeah.
and having that disadvantage plus the map choice for the Zerg, it's looking grim for Lilbow already, man.
I wouldn't say grim. It's I mean I don't know how his delay is on an A, if he has any at all. We don't have a lot of delay to EU from the house, for example, so
That
it
is
might
true.
be the case for him as well. And as far as maps go, let's remember there were only 2 vetoes for each player. Terraform is gonna be the next map, and it is Hydra's choice, but it is not a map that Protoss should feel uncomfortable in. It's not a bad CBP map overall. It's got advantages and disadvantages. There's a lot of very choky corridors, and at the same time there's a lot of paths to counterattack for the Zerg players. So it all comes down to unit composition and decision making. At the same time, Hydra is not the type of player that you will see going for a counterattack very often in a CVP. Right? He's the player that most of the time will engage your army head on and try to beat it, try to find good fights. He's good at positioning. So this map may not actually work in his favor. Now there are features on the map like gold bases, which we all know Hydra does take from time to time. He is in the same team as Cats, after all. They always
After
say,
all.
like, whenever Hydra does anything wonky, it's like
Cat's build.
Yeah.
Cat's build.
It's not even true half the time, man. But yeah, on the top left-hand side of the map, as the green Protoss from the Republic of France, it is Lilbow Bonaparte.
And on the bottom right, the almost 2-time WCS champion from Root Gaming, it is Hydra.
Yep, almost two-time WCS champion, getting
The
his
third
dreams
time.
shattered.
Not so much.
Yeah, the third time not so much. The third time actually he got his dream shattered
Yeah.
by Lilbow.
But the first one, he was so close.
He was so close, man. 1 game away for 3 games.
Yeah.
Was that it? Was
Yeah,
it
he
1
was
game
up
away?
3-1.
Yeah, tough luck, man.
Tough luck. It's part of the game.
Part of the game. You win some, you lose some.
Forge, 14 Forge.
Yeah, but Hydra actually went for a pull first. So very lucky for Hydra how the build orders are gonna match up here. kind of anticipating potential cheese
So you would
or
say
fromage. Some would say fromage. Le fromage.
Omelette de fromage.
Omelette de fromage.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
Oh no, this is unfortunate for Hydra.
A little bit. I mean, his pull is already done, but I'm not sure if he's actually gonna get links in time to
Yeah, like
attempt a defense here. So
there is no way he can defend this hatchery, is there?
probably not. At the same time, canceling this hatchery wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. He could have even not made any links and just dropped another hatchery at his natural right away and let this one get cannon rush.
That's what I was thinking. That
Yeah.
would be.
That wouldn't be the end of the world by any means.
Hmm.
So we'll see what Lilbow and Hydra want to do here. But yeah, this is actually you know, like taking the gold after the pool is something that's very Hydra-esque. I always prefer taking the hatchery first at the gold. And whenever we would discuss strategy, he thinks that the difference is negligible. The thing is, I actually prefer defending cannon rushes with hatcheries rather than pool because it makes your opponent commit to them, and I'm pretty confident in defending cannon rushes or just responding by even if you don't defend them, you can respond by, you know, making additional hatcheries somewhere else and letting them commit resources to a portion of the map that you're actually just gonna ignore for the rest of the game or until you have enough units that it won't matter. So two different approaches to reach the same goal. And in this particular case, Hydra's approach does backfire a little bit, but no, without a cost for Lilbow. I mean, he had to commit a pylon and a cannon there. The pylon sure gives him supply and will continue to do so for a while, so kind of pays for itself in some ways. But the cannon is just gonna be sitting idle there for no good reason. Of course, this did cost Hydra time and money. So overall, I would say a worthwhile investment by Lilbow, but far from being game defining. It's just a little thing.
So I guess from here we just basically go into a standard game because the Nexus pretty much went at the same time as the hatchery.
Yeah. Like I said, that was just a baby win for Lilbow. You need 20 to 100 baby wins to win a game. So
20 to 100 baby wins.
Baby wins.
Is that how it works?
That's how it works. This was a baby win, and you need like 20 babies to cash in on a win.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's 1/20th of a win.
That's 1/20th of a win right there. That cannon. Now that Stargate, it's another 20th of a win. That's
I don't. What?
I'm just saying, man. Stargates are pretty good.
But I guess it is in a good position. Well, that is actually very smart because you can't poke in. Wait, he's gonna see it?
Nope. He's too smart to see it. Oh, actually, the cell
wow.
is getting off position, and Hydra identifies that and runs in. Now he sees the Stargate. He has to anticipate an Oracle. Now, does Lilbow actually make an Oracle? He could just make a single Phoenix or something. Nope, he is going to commit to that Oracle. And so, here's where the mind game could have come in, right? If Lilbow just makes one Phoenix and transitions into whatever else, then Hydra's still potentially going to be forced to make Spores, and I would wager he will do that. There's the first one, the second one, and the third one. So if you just make one Phoenix and your opponent commits to Spores, and then maybe you just make a Void Ray to secure your third, you're in a fantastic position because you know your opponent's going to be forced into making blind Spores and blah, 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 so on and so forth. However, that is not to say that Oracles can't do damage after being scouted. They are very powerful units. That was the end of that sentence.
But if they don't deal damage, does this count as a baby loss?
It's a little bit bigger than a baby loss if your oracles actually don't do anything, right? That's a pretty big commitment, so I would give a small edge to Hydra.
He's still making oracles. He's going for the third oracle.
I like it, actually. 3 oracles will be able to DPS down a Spore.
And how many gateways? He has 7 gateways.
Oh, wow. Okay, Lilbow.
So it's gonna be a
Not
3
slowing down.
oracle gateway all in.
That
And
it is.
roaches are only coming out now. 8 roaches. Is this enough?
I'm not quite sure. The oracles are going to help a lot against Lynx as well. That's their main purpose here. They got to be babysitting the stalkers against the Lynx and DPSing them down as soon as they try to get us around. Lilbow doesn't have a too big of an army, but you'd be surprised at how easily this snowballs. The economy for Hydra isn't fantastic. They're forcing the oracles to toggle their ability on, and here comes the links around. One oracle is actually not shooting, now it is, but a lot of stalkers already getting surrounded. This is not what Lilbow was looking for, and look at that amount of links.
So many links.
That is just too many links, and Lilbow just warped in stalkers. Now he's forced them to warp in zealots, but it's a little bit too late. Those oracles are shooting roaches. They're not great against roaches.
He is focus firing the roaches, and that was just so bad for the engagement. If he had been killing those links.
Yeah, but it's really hard. I mean, you shift clicking links, you know.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, it's a tall order, and one that maybe Lilbow could accomplish, but not this time around. So he's gonna fall pretty far behind here.
And he's still making oracles. How many oracles does he have now? Oh, he lost one, so that is his third one.
That is quite
again.
unfortunate. Yeah, I mean the commitment to oracles was cute, and I think it could have worked, but it just ended up not working this time around. I mean, if he had gone maybe for 4 oracles, maybe if that spore wasn't there, you know, there's a lot of ifs and buts when you are watching and commentating a game of StarCraft. It's really easy to say Lilbow made a mistake, but perhaps it's not the case. You know, like, it's the strategy that he chose, and Hydra managed to counter it well. It's every strategy in StarCraft 2 has a counter. There's no strategy, no matter how perfectly you execute it, that won't lose to something else.
And Lilbow is gearing up for another attack, but I can't help but feel that he's gonna get shut down so hard because of these Hydras. He has nothing but oracles, zealots, and sentries, all that die very fast to Hydralists.
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of links to buffer. Now, if the zealots are able to get on top of the Hydras, they will DPS them fast. Same with the oracles, they will shred through Hydras, but Hydra DPS is also very, very high. I wouldn't mind Hydra pulling up some drones if he doesn't have enough roaches to buffer for damage here. And actually, I don't know if he does. I think he's gonna lose a lot of units, but the links around is huge. And actually, those oracles are in position to try and help out, but it's just simply not enough. The oracles were positioned perfectly there. He was waiting for the links to come in for him to pick them off, but like I said, it just wasn't enough this time around. The first wave failed a little bit too hard, and with that, Hydra is gonna gain a 2-0 lead over Lilbow in El Clásico.
Yeah, and it's a 2-0 lead. Like I said, at least now we're going back into EU, into Lilbow's map choice. So, I mean, if you're going to win, this is the moment. This is the opportunity.
You think so? Because I thought that if he was going to win, maybe the next game was the opportunity.
No, because
because
they
this
were
is the
going
last
to
game.
for-
Oh, you're really clever.
But
so this is the
that's
opportunity.
not. But that's not what I meant. Like I mean, it's hard to explain. Like, obviously he has to win now, otherwise he's out of the series. But he messed up by losing in the first map.
That's where he messed up.
Yes, that's where he messed up.
Yep. So, yeah, very cool. Of course, as we load into the third map, remember to send some love to our beautiful sponsors. TT Esports, of course, has been supporting Root Gaming for a long time. Show the keyword real quick. This is the Poseidon keyboard, and this is the Ventus X, right? Ventus X mouse. They're really good. The Ventus X, especially if you have sweaty palms. I have a little bit sweaty palms, so I really like the Ventus X because it keeps the mouse ventilated, and it's very light and very nice to use. The keyboard, of course, also fantastic, the Poseidon, and it's very beautiful to look at.
Yes, indeed. I can attest to that.
Just beautiful. So check them out at TT Esports on Twitter. And I believe it's TT. What's the website? It's
Just ttesports.com.
isn't it .usa or TT
No,
Esports?
it's just
TTesports.com.
I mean, Thermal Take USA.
Thermal Take USA is the thermal take, but no,
But you can-
TTesports.com. Go buy some stuff.
Do it.
Do it. And of course, next match coming up is gonna be Snoot versus Bravo. A 50-50 for me. I have no idea who's gonna take that one. But if you think you have a better idea, why don't you put your money where your mouth is? Head on over to esportgaming.com/root. Sign up today and get a bunch of bonuses. Potentially you could win a copy of Legacy of the Void and even a lesson with Kelasur do Brasil. Do mundo. So do check that out. Third map. Match point. Deja vu perhaps for Hydra. How much of a nightmare would it be for him to lose this series from this moment on? Just like in WCS, same opponent.
Will be quite traumatizing to
Quite
say the least.
traumatizing. Is it the same map pool? Because that would just be.
The same map pool?
Is it the map? It is the same map pool. Is it the same maps in the same order? I'm not sure. I was casting Red Bull at the time.
I don't know. I just know the last map was Iron Fortress.
Well,
as I said.
Iron Fortress is the 4th map in this.
Almost same maps.
Almost.
So wow. El Clásico, folks. Can Lilbow turn it around? It was true less than a month ago. Is it true today?
The 10 drone scout here.
Yeah, it's pretty real. And he will find that Lilbow has a pylon on the low ground.
But he didn't use it to scout. Does that mean he could go for some kind of proxy
He could go for a proxy hatchery on Lilbow's natural, yeah. It is actually pretty likely. He will spot the forge right away, and this is a good thing to know. Now he may not be going for that hatchery in the natural, but he could very well go for a hatchery in the main. I heard he's in the same team as Cats. Yeah, he's gonna see what he needs to see. There's no gases, of course. So, yeah, man, you saw forge. Oh! Oh! He's too good, this Frenchman, man. I swear.
This is gonna be a highlight.
This is gonna be a highlight for his scream right now because we're gonna be on camera, man.
This is Reddit front page
Oh
material,
my
man.
god. Those SC2 highlights.
Quite the spectacle.
Quite the spectacle. And we even ended in silence so that it can fade
Yeah.
out, you know, like so
Just
the
cut it
highlight
right
can
here.
Yeah. I just got it right there. So yeah, the pool's almost done here for Hydra. Not much going on.
So it feels like pretty much same thing as last game. He's gonna both the Nexus and the hatchery go down at the same time, and he's gonna get that third hatchery. I guess the third hatchery is a little bit, delayed.
Indeed. Crazy, really.
Crazy stuff.
Crazy stuff all over the place. Well,
I mean, not much there to say.
not much more to say right now. There's not much to say for the time being. This is the awkward stage in StarCraft 2 that they're trying to fix in Legacy of the Void. This is why we start with more workers, guys.
I mean, like, not only in RTS, but like in mobile games, like the start is very passive.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're starting to get some insight into what the players may be doing now.
Yeah.
Hydra is liking a gas. Now, here's something cool, right? This is something that I've talked to him about as well. You can get away with gasless because Hydra used to always take a gas pretty much of a third hatchery or of 3 hatcheries this quickly. But the secret is you can go gasless as long as your opponent's not scouting you. If your opponent scouts you, then going gasless becomes a problem. Why? Well, we talked about this a couple of series ago, where we saw Stalkers being extremely powerful. Or was it this series?
No, it was Parting versus
Solar. Yeah. So Stalkers become extremely powerful early on if there is no link speed to contest them. They basically are king of the map. They can never get caught, and they can do unlimited amounts of damage for as long as you can micro them and you know the time that it takes to regen their shields. So you can do that with Stalkers, but you have to know what your opponent's doing. You can't just make blind Stalkers because if your opponent took a gas, as most Zergs would, then you will just lose 2 or 3 Stalkers for free, and that's, you know, a devastating blow in a professional game of StarCraft 2. So I really like what Hydra's doing is what I'm trying to get at. He didn't get link speed. He cut down on the gases that allowed him to be greedier than life, and that's on the same side of things. Though Lilbow is, you know, being as greedy as possible, and there's no way Hydra can punish it because of the lack of gas. So Lilbow kind of taking a big risk, and it's paying off for sure, right? Like if Hydra had speed, if Hydra had roaches, which Lilbow does not know because he did not scout, You know, he could be applying pressure onto this third. He could be potentially killing it. He could be making moves, making decisions. Right now he has no decisions to make. The only decision he has to make is, do I make drones or do I make more drones? Because that's what he committed to when he decided not to go for gas. It's for sure a less flexible opener, but it is by far more economical. So I still very much like it for Hydra, but the gamble that Lilbow took is definitely going to pay off. Otherwise, he would just be behind, is what I'm trying to get at. He's not behind.
Good point. And I guess since Hydra's got the fast third, he could get a really late Ro8.
Yeah.
And get so many drones out. But if you normally don't see a third base like that, what if like you don't get a scout as well as Hydra did? Then what would be your response to aggression with gasless? Like,
well, you can go for the same things, but on lower drone counts. You can delay the layer, for example, get the link speed a little bit quicker, perhaps. That's not even done at this point in time. There's a Spire coming up for Hydra, as Rob from production pointed out there. So that's going to be pretty nice for him. And that's the kind of play that allows him, that Lilbow is allowing him to make, right? He gave him a lot of space. He said, you're being greedy, okay, let's be greedy, fine, be greedy, go. And Hydra's like, okay, I can be greedy, cool, Muta, okay, Muta.
yeah.
Muta are the type, and Lilbow actually scouts it, did he?
Yep, he did.
So that's really big. So we'll see what his reaction is. For now, it's just same old gateways and maybe a quicker blink that than he wanted to make. I kind of doubt it. I mean, the Twilight Council was there for a reason. So, but yeah, Muta are the type of unit that you have to be really careful when you make, because when you are producing those Muta, you are at your weakest, and Lilbow knows that, and that's why he's moving out at such an awkward timing. Sure, he has production coming in. Sure, he just took a third. Sure, it may the income may not be kicking in. Like we still see, like I said, 4 gateways in production, I think, but he's already starting to move out because he identified that there's a Spire, and if Hydra wants to commit to Muta, which he does. I mean, look at the money Hydra's banking out. Lilbow could be great.
Surround. He's forcing out so many force fields, and
he actually picked off a couple sentries. I'm not sure about the commitment onto this pylon, but Lilbow seems committed to saving it as well. There are 14 Muta and 14 links on the way, but again, Lilbow perfectly identifying, you're going Muta. You know what? I don't want Muta in my face. I'm gonna be in your face, and you have to fight me with those Muta. Muta are not the best fighting units, but this is a lot of Muta.
Wouldn't it be better to pump out roaches in this case? I
feel like it would have been better to pump out roaches as soon as he saw Lilbow moving out. But once Lilbow is this close and Hydra was already banking as much money as he was, he just decided it's gonna be best to go for the counterattack. Again, Muta cannot engage this sort of army heads on. So, and Lilbow, wow, a gutsy decision to pull back here. Now, look at those. Oh, really, really well played by Lilbow. Not recalling his entire army, but just a portion of it. And this is going to allow him to do a lot of damage onto Hydra's production here and economy. Really, really nice play. Leaving just enough back. Oh my god, really, really nice play. Also, another thing to point out for Lilbow is he was making cannons already. Like, if you look at his natural, he has like 4 cannons or 5. If those cannons had been ready already and he could have warped in a few sentries just to hold off the links, he would have potentially just kept pushing and would have most likely ended up killing Hydra. But Hydra, with a good timing, they're not wasting any seconds, makes it so that Lilbow is forced to recall. However, once again, a brilliant way to recall. Just not recalling the entire army, but a small portion, leaving a small portion of units to continue to do damage. That was really nicely done. Well, good decision making. That's what I was talking about when I was saying decision making with his units. On the other end of things, Hydra might be overcommitting a little bit with the Muta, but actually Lilbow missing a force field or 2. He's letting these links get a lot of surround and getting out now. A little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe who was? He didn't have an energy for another force field. I don't think.
He hallucinated a bunch of stalkers.
Yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Like if he had gotten those links, he would be in prime position to take this game with the attack.
I think so as well. And these Muta are doing way too much damage now. Lilbow, I'm not sure if he's even gonna try to
Oh, the
work in
Cyber Core.
defensively. There is another set of links trying to run in, but they're gonna get greeted by the Cyber Core, or by the cannons and forced to pull back. So yeah, I don't know how the Cyber Core greets anything. It's like, greetings, I'm a Cyber Core. Like, yeah, well, we don't do anything.
What does Lilbow do now? Because he can't replenish his stalkers to counter the mutas, and I
Yeah.
feel like with these reinforcements, there's no way these stalkers can beat this amount of mutas.
Yeah, he needs to force field the ramp. There we go.
Oh, okay.
So that's
that
really
force
good
field
for
was
him.
crucial, yes.
Yeah, there are no more force fields though, so he has to do as much damage as possible and think about forfeiting his army. He's planning to hold the ramp here, and that's a good idea. Oh, and he has blink as well, so he's just trying to get the best trade that he can for his units. And he's not out of this game by any means. He did lose the Cyber Core, and that's painful, but it's already close to being remade, and actually Fantastic Micro is allowing him to trade pretty alright. In either case, this muta or these units were a little bit doomed already. Maybe I would have rather see him try to suicide onto drones rather than trying to hold the ramp and just trying to hold defensively with cannons. But perhaps Lilbow knows better, because this is already a lot of stalkers and they're blinking aggressively. They're gonna pick off a few links, maybe a muta or two, I didn't see. But there are 6 more muta on the way for Hydra. Hydra with brilliant decision making as well this game, by the way. Even though he had units already on his side of the map, he still assessed the situation. He said early on, you know what, I cannot take that fight, so I will not take that fight. I will just go counterattack, and has made a game out of this. Perhaps a game that he is in a good position to take, but Lilbow is no slouch, and at the same time he's gonna threaten and kill Hydra's third. If he was paying attention, he saw the drones moving over to a potential 4th, and perhaps that should be his next target. Moving on to the main is not gonna do too much. Lilbow will take down the 3rd of Hydra, making it so that they are both effectively mining one base, basically. I guess Hydra's still mining his main, but not for long. Lilbow's gonna blink in, pick off a bunch of drones, a stranded muta, those are expensive, and a few stalkers in turn are gonna get picked off here. Perhaps could pick off a muta if they were paying attention. A few zealots trying to do economic damage here, but are just gonna get met by a bunch of muta. And Lilbow needs to consolidate his army. He needs to identify that both him and Hydra are on pretty much equal economy, equal supply. Lilbow has a little bit more of a bank. He needs to maybe retake that 3rd, maybe cannon it up. Oh, this is a lot of muta, a lot more than Lilbow can fight, and he knows it. He's gonna blink out, and he's gonna target one at a time. Just try to trade somewhat cost efficiently, wait for your next blink cooldown, and get away. Force the muta to move on top, and like that gain some shots, some distance. So Lilbow, not the worst trades in the world. Muta are really, really expensive, but is it enough? Maybe if he could pick off a few more. These links are gonna be the difference. So Lilbow is gonna give up and fall 0-3 to Dong the Wong Shin.
So a 3-0.